Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, May 25th, 2026, and I am going to tell you a little bit about the movie idea that I've had. I've not had any for a while. Nothing's been coming to mind. There hasn't been anything that's felt fresh or new or interesting, and just yesterday, I think it was, maybe 2 days ago now, I came up with an idea for a film that I really like, and I thought, in the process of trying to make this film, why don't I just talk a little bit about it? Since I've moved to this new property, there have been several nights where I've just woken up in the middle of the night with no explanation. I'm a heavy sleeper. I'm someone who sleeps through almost everything, so it's very unusual and honestly a little bit concerning to be waking up in like the middle of the night to nothing. Hey guys. What's up? They're probably angry because I'm a little late. Oh, hello. Long story short, I woke up in the middle of the night. It's usually between 2 and 5 a.m. and I was trying to just stay groggy, so I could go back to sleep. And then it hit me for a second. I was like, what if the reason I'm waking up is something is triggering this to happen, right? What if something every night that I wake up is causing me to wake up and I'm just waking up after it's already happened? What if something is happening and I don't even know it? And, my 4 a.m. brain, it was like, this is the best idea I've ever had. So, I slept on it, I woke up, and I still loved the idea. I think I want our main character to be a college guy in his 20s maybe, lives alone at his apartment. He's not the kind of person that would come into class and slam an energy drink just to stay awake. And where this gets turned on its head is he starts waking up in the middle of the night, every night. It's never quite at the same time, but it's between 2 and 5 a.m. I haven't decided if maybe a consistent time is better. Like he always wakes up at 5 a.m. and 17 minutes, right? Who phrases it like that? I don't know if I'm gonna go with that, but it's another option. I haven't decided if I want this to be like a monster movie or if I want this to be more of a, maybe he's hallucinating the monsters because he's so low on sleep and people have broken into his apartment to watch him sleep. But a long story short is he tries to figure out why he's waking up like this because he never did before. My temptation with this film is to just jump in and start thinking about cameras and lenses because I'm thinking about rentals. Right, I'm thinking about, okay, would it be better to shoot this on the Blackmagic 4K? I know I'll have pretty consistent access to that, or the Canon C70. I feel like a rig for the Blackmagic 4K is going to fit the style of production, the way that I want this to go a lot better. The crop sensor can make it hard if we have a small location. Maybe it would be better to try and shoot it on something full frame. I really want to sell the look of Keegan's apartment, but I also want a lot of control. So I've been looking at Airbnbs out in the woods where, we can be loud, we can set up lights outside of the windows to really blast like an Aperture Nova or something through the windows. Because the biggest thing I've learned from shooting horror movies or even my own movie is that you really need so much more light than you think you do. There's moody lighting and then there's just straight up underexposing your image and then you just don't have enough to work with. On every single scary thing that I've had to shoot, that's the problem I run into. So for this one, I want there to be the same depth, the same darkness in the frame, shadow, but I want a a lot of light. I want to just blast light into that room. And I think an Airbnb is where we're going to find that level of control. I've been thinking since driving in the car this morning about what I wanted the monsters in this movie to look like, right? Because I've had some ideas. The long and short of this is I wanted them to be uncanny, because I think one of the first notes that I took when I was working on... I know, come on up here. Come on up. I knew that I wanted the monster's design to fall somewhere in the uncanny valley. I think the first note that I took for this whole project was that I wanted the monster to be, or even just the concept, based on something that I myself am afraid of. I think I took notes like, what am I afraid of? I don't like the dark. I don't like home intruders. I can't remember what else I put on the list, but those are pretty high at the top. And so, I pulled out, I think it was like a note card, and just started taking down notes of, or making little drawings of what I wanted them to look like. I didn't know if I wanted them to have like a kind of a weird, bulky, almost like Kingpin kind of look, or if I wanted maybe normal but somewhat uncanny, if I wanted them to just look, I think I used the word amorphous. I don't think that was right, but it just almost like the Thomas the Tank Engine heads, the circular gray head. Do I want to do something like that where it's like a human face stretched out over a larger surface? But the more I thought about it, none of those really felt natural for the monster that I'm trying to have in this movie. And honestly, it wasn't until I remembered a while ago I had been bookmarking Twitter posts that had monster designs that I liked, and there was this tweet by a Twitter user, Wax Persons, and I think it's an older tweet. Okay, it's from September of 2025, and the caption just landlords, but it has these like weird clay, uncanny valley kind of guys. And I remember it had been so long since I'd seen something like a design for a monster that made me like, I couldn't look away, but I also wanted to look away more than anything. I mean, it's a pretty spectacular design. I don't know if everyone else feels the same way that I do, but I think it's probably one of my favorite designs for anything that I've ever seen. And the rest of his stuff is kind of similar, but it just doesn't tap the same weird button for me that this landlord's picture does. And so I've had a couple of different ideas where I've wanted to use these designs or something similar for the movie, but I really think that this one would be benefited from these designs, even if I wanted to save it for another film. I think that this weird like mask face uncanny thing would be perfect for that, because if he's not sleeping, it's a dream, right? I want it to be something that your brain has a hard time perceiving. So once my well, I guess it's done now. I've been doing some video editing. Now that this is done, I'm actually gonna go head out and go spend some time with my wife and some other folks, but I think in the next couple of days I'm going to start drawing and trying to figure out what I actually want these monsters to look like. And if I think that this Wax Person's design is what I'll end up going for, I'll probably reach out to them, see if maybe they have the Blender file or something. I would really love to just like inspect the whole thing so I can get an idea for what the prosthetics or the mask for this would actually look like.